Black Wolf News, where the coffee is fresh, hot, and tastes good, but not today. It's cold, it's old, and it tastes like crap. But that's not why you're here. Not here to hear me complain about coffee. You're here for the news. I want to bring you the news about the world, the news about you, and the news about me. I can bring you news about me all day long. I got stories till the cows come home. I can bring you the news about the world all day long. All I got to do is read a newspaper and recite it to you. Try not to do it just like that. But anyways, the news about you, however, takes you. I need you to comment in the comment section below. I need you to ask me questions so that I have topics to address. I need you to bring up debate topics. What's for, what's against. And while you're doing the whole debating thing, try to stick away from insults. Insults generally means you don't know your position well enough to define it, to argue it, to be proactive in your proposal of that topic. So study up, stay away from the insults, stick to the policy. All right, the way I'm going to bring you this news is through the 3 E's. Enlighten, entertain, inform. That's my goal. Let's get into it. The first topic tonight we're going to discuss is Colin Kaepernick and Nike and the boycott, and why you're so bad at the boycott. Second topic, they foreclosed on my house today. Woohoo! Third topic, why did I just say woohoo when I said they foreclosed on my house today? We'll get into that, and maybe a little bit more. All right, I started boycotting Nike when I was just a kid in school. Do you know why I started boycotting Nike? Because on my shirt, they had that swoosh. On my socks, they had that swoosh. On my boots, shoes, they had that swoosh. I did not believe in the Nike brand enough to want to advertise for them for free. I could buy one of these Fruit of the Loom t-shirts for $4 or $5 at Walmart. That's because I'm a bigger guy. If I was a smaller guy, I could buy 3 of these t-shirts at Walmart and a pack for $7. Why would I spend $10 to $50 for something with a swoosh on it to advertise for Nike? Never made sense to me. If I wear a shirt with advertising on it, it's because I actually believe in that product. For example, this Fruit of the Loom t-shirt is an advertisement for DungBusters.dog. It's my business. I believe in my business. I can't unfurl that. So, how much did I pay for this shirt? It's also got an American flag over here, because I'm proud to be an American. How much did I pay for this shirt? I paid $30 for it, which is really, really expensive. Why did I pay $30? I could have paid $15 to $20 for it. I wanted the advertisements on the sleeve, because I don't like stuff on my chest. It annoys me. It makes me think that I spilled something. And then I'm like, oh, what's on my... Oh, it's just this advertisement for my wonderful company. Could have put it on the back, but I wanted it on the sleeves. I like it that way. However, your boycott of Nike not going nearly as successful as mine. You already bought a bunch of junk. Now you're cutting holes in it, you're burning it, you're tearing it up, and you're throwing it away. There's something out there called the law of supply and demand. The more supply, the cheaper the price. The less supply, the more expensive the price. That's how supply and demand works in basics. By tearing up all your stuff, by throwing it away, you are only making the Nike brand and Kaepernick more money. If you want to have an effective boycott, I'm generally against boycotts, they're generally not effective. If you want to have an effective boycott, sell your stuff. Sell it cheap, sell it online, give it away to Goodwill, flood the market with cheap Nike gear. That means there's plenty of supply and not a lot of demand. That means Nike and Colin Kaepernick don't make nearly as much. Flood the market with that stuff instead of cutting it up and throw it away. Seriously. By destroying it, you are defeating your boycott. Alright. Now, in case you are wondering, Why is this Nike boycott a boycott? Nike decided to put up a promotional saying with the face of Colin Kaepernick on their advertising. As we're aware, he's the one who knelt during the national anthem as a protest. There wasn't a protest first, but it was afterwards. My issue with it, the national anthem is set aside for honoring our soldiers, our fallen soldiers, and our soldiers who are ready to go into battle. You want to protest before? Fine, have at it. You want to protest after? Fine, have at it. If your employer will let you protest, protest. Just don't protest during the national anthem. That's the only problem I have with it. They foreclosed on my house today. I went down to the courthouse and I watched my bank auction off my house for $71,607. I then watched my bank buy my house for $71,607. No one else put a bid on, so the bank had to buy back my property so that it didn't decrease any lower in value than that. They will end up selling it for probably 20-30% of that value. That's on them. The reason they are foreclosing on my house is the same reason they foreclose on anyone's house. I didn't pay the mortgage. You might be asking yourself, why didn't you pay the mortgage? Well, before I tell you that, let me tell you now. I am current on every other bill I have. I'm not behind on any bill, and I do not have any late payments. Not on my house, not on my credit cards, not on my car. Everything is paid up to date. Everything is current. The only thing I am behind on is the mortgage. 3 years ago, in August, I had a lightning strike hit my oak tree and garage, starting my garage and the oak tree on fire. Burnt down most of my garage and the breezeway between the garage and the house. There was a courtyard between the house, the breezeway, and the garage. I started rebuilding with insurance money. The insurance money company paid out pretty quick. They sent the money to the mortgage company. I hired a contractor. The mortgage company sent me somewhere around half the money. They sent me about $40,000. I put in about $20,000. And we rebuilt the garage, put a new floor in there, raised everything up about 5 inches due to some water issues to alleviate those. And we built a new garage that covers the old courtyard and breezeway, building it right into the house. The reason for doing that was to make that garage bigger so that it could become a studio apartment. There's currently a kitchenette and a bathroom out there, and all you have to do is close in the garage door, and you have yourself a studio apartment. A very nice studio apartment. Inside the house, tore down all the walls, put in new wiring, new plumbing. The wiring is about 90% rough and complete. The plumbing is about 60% rough and complete. The reason you see the walled insulation behind me is because behind that is just studs. We tore down all the drywall. And this is the corner of the house that I decided to live in while I remodeled the rest of it. The mortgage company decided not to send me the rest of my insurance money. I do not know why. I tried for months and months to get them to send me that money, and they refused. They would say, well, there's an inspector on the way, and then I would never hear from the inspector, and he would never show up. And I was living here, in this room, so if he had showed up, I would have been here. So I called them up one day, and I said, hey, I'm going to make you a deal. You send me your insurance money, I'll send you your mortgage payment. That's how this is going to work. 2.5 years later, they're foreclosing on me. They never sent me the insurance money. I never sent them a mortgage payment. Now that'll all toss out in the wash. There might be some litigation, there might be some this, there might be some that. But that's what that is. It's a fresh cup of coffee right there. So, why did I say woohoo when it comes to the foreclosure? Because, that's a scary time. It's going to hit my credit hard. It's going to make everything more expensive in my life. Anything that you need interest rates for, it's going to jack those up. Credit cards, cars. I probably won't even be able to get a loan for, 5 years. There's opportunities to get stuff earlier, but like it really kills your credit, guts you out, you can say. Makes it harder for anyone who checks your credit, like to get an apartment. They check your credit. If you've got a bad credit rating, they won't give you an apartment. And mine's going to be in the 100s. So, that's going to make life a little tougher. Trying to make business deals when a business partner checks your credit and they're like, you were foreclosed on. That doesn't look good. You've got to be creative and find ways around that. For a lot of people, this would give them anxiety. It would make them very worried. They would be wondering what to do about it. And it would be like that constant threat in their lives. For me, however, it's a little different. And I think this goes back to when I was a kid. I was bucked off of a horse. Nearly died. I ended up crawling back to the house and passed out on the way halfway there. And then crawled the rest of the way back to the house once I came back to consciousness. My dad told me that same day that I needed to go back out and get on that horse. I had a big gash in the back of my head, and I had been knocked unconscious. And I told him no. And I refused to go out and get on that horse. And he says, fine. If you don't go out and get on that horse, you can't leave the house. I was so scared of that horse. But I was also a 4 or 5 year old boy who needed to be outside and needed to be playing. Like, I'm not talking like I need $20 so I can go buy some ice cream. At that age, as a boy child, I had to be outside. It was life or death. Eventually, that desire, that need, overcame my fear of getting back on the horse. And 4 days later, I hesitantly marched out to the barn with my parents and got back on that horse. It was scary. It was horrible. They were there with me. It was the worst thing at that point in my life that I had ever done. But I did it. And within the week, I was back out in the fields riding that horse on my own. It was an adventure. And it continued to be an adventure. And I think that has colored everything else that has happened in my life. I've carried that boyness, that boy sense for adventure, that Huck Finn, that Tom Sawyer, that Frodo and Sam sense of adventure my entire life. And to me, when things are uncertain and when they're scary, they're going to get interesting and they're going to get fun. And you're going to learn a heck of a lot, and you're going to be better off for having gone through it. So keep that in mind when life is big and scary and it's dark and it looks like it's going to bite your head off. It's going to be a fun ride. And if my adventure over these next few years fails, you know what? I'm going to have a heck of a lot of fun while it fails. So that's why I'm not too broken up about the foreclosure. It's certainly a failure, but it's not the end. It's a battle lost, but it's not a war lost. So I'm going to win that war, or die trying. All right, that's all I got for you guys. You have a good one.